Today we're going to talk about career and job pathways regarding nature, wildlife, and conservation. I'm joined by Melissa, a professional who will share a bit about what she does.
Hi, I'm Melissa Parrott. I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator for the Central Pine Barrens Commission. Well, I have a very interesting path, and I think this is something that everybody can learn from. I received my bachelor's in television, film, and radio. So I expected to go down a completely different career path, and I enjoyed that learning process. I loved what I was doing, but it didn't fulfill something. So I started volunteering at a local nature center, and through that experience I was trained on in environmental education, teaching methods. I was trained in natural history, and I was just absorbing all of this information. I'm like, I like this a lot. So I ended up leaving my career in the film industry, and I had a great job for ABC. And I left it to become an educator at a nature center, just learned through the process. And then as I knew I was going to take this to my new career path, I started taking additional classes. I started doing more trainings, certification processes, and working with higher education institutions just to gain that knowledge. Soon, I became Director of Environmental Education for the state of Massachusetts. Now this goes 10 years of working in the field. And then from there, I worked for Cornell Cooperative Extension as a education director. And then I worked for Central Pine Barrens Commission. And it's a passion of mine. I love my job. And it's like I don't go to work every day. I play. Well, it's so funny because when I was a naturalist, people didn't know what that was. They thought it was a naturist, which are people who, don't, it's not the job that I had, let's put it that way. So sometimes I have to explain my job to them. In fact, even when I talk about environmental education, they don't know really. I think some of my family members still grapple with what I do for a living. It is knowing your subject matter is very important in this job, so you can easily communicate it to a variety of different age groups and different teaching methods. So it's a lot of knowledge to retain, and it's also learning really good people skills so you can connect with your audience. If it's a K through 12, if it's general public, if it's a senior group. So, yeah. Hands down, it's working and running summer camps. It is the best experience working with youth, and you're connecting, you're exposing them to these different opportunities in nature. If it's wildlife, if it's environmental science based, when you are able to give them that space to learn on their own and let them have fun and let them feel free, and just bonding with them as people and their families, I just absolutely love it. And I will say also, it's working with animals. It's just so wonderful in nature, observing them, but also if they're have been injured in the wild and they're used as education animals. I worked for Sweetbriar Nature Center in Smithtown for several years, and it's just like connecting with wildlife or animals is just spiritually rewarding. Oh, I don't have a typical work day. Nope, I don't. Usually, this current position, I am more administrative than some times of the year, right? When it's in the winter months, I am more administrative. So I am more in the office from 8 to 4, working on projects, creating, developing projects for the spring, maintaining, doing a lot of school programs indoors. When it's spring, summer, fall, I am outdoors. I'm working with high school kids on the Carmens River, on the Nisqually River, on the Forge River. I work with Bellport High School frequently in the fall on a Day in the Life program. And I'm also in the summer, I'm working with my camp. So, and in the spring, I'm getting out as much as possible to engage the community on and helping them connect with their outdoors. That's a great question, but I feel my job is different than most because I don't need to balance it. What do I do on the weekends? I'm pretty much outdoors teaching my son, right? Or connecting with my neighborhood and doing cleanups and taking hikes. So like I said, going to work isn't necessarily work for me. So I don't feel I have that problem per se. So I'm fortunate. Expectations. Don't put that on yourself. I always say that it's not always a straight line from point A to point B. If you look at me, I finally found myself in my job, but I certainly did not take a straight path to get it. So let yourself explore who you are in your own timeline. And I just, wish you guys the best. Good luck. Depending on what level or what you're working on specifically, you're making a difference. If it's about land preservation or wildlife conservation, environmental education, you're changing the world, one day at a time, and there's nothing better than that.